We are very excited to flag off this episode titled Innovation at the Heart of Global Healthcare, which will explore how the healthcare industry is undergoing a transformational evolution, thanks to advancing innovation and breakthrough R&D to addressing and resolving some of the most pressing medical challenges of the 21st century. I'm your host, Yehuda Geffen, and joining me today are our guests from Israel, Harel Ram, the CEO of Synergy 7, and Orly Eshel, VP Innovation and Business Development, Healthcare and Biotech at Synergy 7. Synergy 7 is based out of Be'er Sheva in the southern part of Israel. It's a government innovation center that focuses on promoting entrepreneurship, startups, and knowledge-intensive industries around digital health, autonomous robots, and cyber defense. Both Orly and Harel have been working in the field of innovation and driving growth of healthcare initiatives with a long history of R&D around core technologies, infrastructure, and implementation of strategies for healthcare and research initiatives. We're thrilled to have them with us on this show today to provide us perhaps with a unique perspective on our topic. So without further ado, let's welcome Harel and Orly to our podcast. Thank you so much for being here with us today. How are you doing?
Thank you, Geffen. Thank you for hosting us here in the Consulate of Israel and the Emirates. We're very thrilled to be here and thankful, and good luck for us all.
Thank you for the opportunity. It's very exciting to be here, and we hope we can elaborate in healthcare.
And great. Just before we go into our discussion, could we just please take a moment to perhaps introduce yourself to our listeners? Tell us a bit about who you are, your background, what it is you do. I'm sure that it would be fantastic for our audience to get to know you just a little bit better.
So I'm coming from 20 years in the Israeli high-tech industry. I worked for American corporates in Israel, like Dell and Intel, for medium software companies. Back in 2015, I had a startup around digital video compression, which was sold in around 2019. I settled both sides of the money thing. I was giving money when I worked in corporates to startups that were seeking for investment. And I was looking for money as a CEO of a startup. So I experienced both sides of raising and giving money. Gave me a lot of insights. And now at Synergy 7, we are working for startups and for big companies to create a consortium, a sum that is bigger than a whole that is bigger than the part of itself. And we strongly believe in cooperation, in collaboration, in working together. The things that one entity can do is not equal to what a consortium of companies can do and achieve. And this is part of the reason that we are here today, to explore opportunities and to see what we can do together.
Fantastic. Orly.
Hi, my background is more life science in biotech. I have over 20 years experience in academia, research lab, diagnostic lab, clinical trials, and in the last year, I'm working in Synergy 7 innovation around healthcare.
Okay, so what is exactly Synergy 7? What does it do?
Synergy 7 is actually a consortium of companies that gather to win the Israel Innovation Authority grant for promoting the innovation, entrepreneurship, startups, big companies in south of Israel. The consortium is composed of academic bodies, university, industry company, technology company, and Mirage Foundation, which is give us asset of community. And our charter is to develop infrastructure, new technological infrastructure, and on top of it to develop a community, a business community that will consume this new technologies, and on the way will create new job opportunities, new startup, new innovation. And as I said before, the way to do it is first to deliver strong infrastructures, strong business community that will allow us to bring more powerful players to the game. We believe that combining advanced technology, strong players, strong business development opportunity, investment opportunity will create a strong alliance of players that will, at the end of the day, will fulfill all of this target.
Yeah, so
More innovation.
So on a broader perspective, you might even say that through this innovation center and its vast and flourishing ecosystem, you have the opportunity in being in the front line and face many of the challenges in the healthcare field. What do you think the current challenges that the healthcare field faces as of today?
I think that the healthcare challenges are common around the world, and the main challenge I heard in the US and Europe is the overall healthcare system. And both logistics and professional. The other thing is the aging population, which means a lot of healthcare assistance, new demand of chronic disease. We are hoping to get to this point of personal education that will be present in the healthcare. We also have overload in mental health. This is a global issue. On the financial cost of healthcare is growing. We hope what we are trying to do in innovation is lower this cost and answer the gap with a digital health and technology.
I think that in the general level, the higher what we've recognized anywhere, to some extent, concerning the world, is that there's a lot of intellectual property that is sitting in the universities, the research bodies, that is not transformed into applicable knowledge or applicable starting up a company. So you're looking at universities, you see a lot of research, and you expect to have a funnel of companies, and it doesn't happen. And so this is one part, how to unleash or unlock the intellectual property sitting in university. I think we see things that in several other places that you have to generate interest in the manpower in the hospital. So there is a layer of medical doctors that all they want to do is to treat patients. This is okay, but there is a layer of doctors that are entrepreneurs. And you need to provide them with interest, and you need to provide them with opportunities. And this is another thing. And at the end of the day, remote medicine is an issue, and keeping up with the pace of new technologies, AI being in the front. It's across the industry and also in the medical.
I agree. I feel that perhaps another challenge in this field would be meeting patient expectations. So it's meeting the needs of patients in terms of quality. It could and probably is proving to be very, very challenging. I think that over the last years, we're witnessing how AI is playing an increasingly important role in revolutionizing medical treatment and healthcare in terms of remote monitoring you mentioned, surgical assistant, research, diagnostics. They're all transforming due to AI. Orly, what do you think that the current challenges faced by healthcare providers worldwide are?
There are common challenges worldwide, and we went through different conferences, both in the US, Europe, and Israel. And we see that the aging population and the burden on the staffing of hospitals and healthcare providers is high. You see it in chronic illnesses and management of chronic illnesses, mental health. Everyone is looking for a solution to that.
So when you say burden on healthcare providers, what do you mean?
The administrative load and more need for healthcare solutions.
Yeah.
And you have a shortage on staffing and physicians, nurses worldwide.
Yeah, so you'd say that perhaps even solutions that target those specific needs of the healthcare providers would be the ones most relevant to this field, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think there is an issue with the talent pool, like every industry, but in medicine in particular, the talent pool, the level of interest that you can provide to physicians that are looking to be also entrepreneurs. So you have a layer of physicians that only want to take care of patients, which is okay. But we see in Israel that there is a layer of physicians that want to be entrepreneurs, and you have to keep them happy and to provide them the challenges And I also think that keeping up the pace with technology is another challenge that every healthcare system is facing today, especially new technologies, AI and advanced technology.
Yeah, I mean, technology is it's changing all the time, right? So it's about keeping up with that pace, making sure that hospitals and care providers are up to date, because that's what they need to be giving patients. I also think that one of the challenges in this field would be meeting patient expectations in terms of meeting the needs of the patient regarding quality. This could probably prove to be very challenging. And I think that over the last years, we're witnessing how AI, as you mentioned, is playing an increasingly important role in revolutionizing medical treatment and healthcare delivery. I mean, well, you can see basically everywhere. Remote monitoring, surgical assistant. In research, we're using AI in diagnostics. They're all transforming due to AI. Perhaps you can provide an overview of Israel's healthcare innovation ecosystem structure and its key drivers, and specifically how the Israeli health startups leverage advanced technologies such as AI and CGT.
Yeah, and the Israeli ecosystem in healthcare is a very unique one because it's small population. So usually it takes 2 to 3 phone calls to get any person in.
Yeah.
And the research around hospitals, universities, is in the time bomb. And as a result, you see that challenges and needs from the clinic are getting solution. And you have also the layer of technology talent pool. And the combination of that is a unique one that can foster new innovations.
So, for example, using AI in database management and things like that, getting more patient, getting them to be more responsive. If we're talking about research, then this is something that AI could assist in transforming this whole operation. That's right.
The AI solution that I most like to see is using current resources you have for new solutions.
Yeah.
For example, using current drug treatments to different applications. We have a startup named QR Genetics, and they are looking for a new application solution with existing medication.
Yeah.
I think that at the end of the day, AI is a buzzword today. You hear it everywhere.
Everywhere.
Oh, yeah, it's kind of exhausting, but the essence of AI is to help you get better. It's to improve your ability as a physician to better analyze, better decision making, to support your decision, to see that you're more accurate. And, it's always good to be that your co-pilot is a machine.
Yeah.
Okay, because you provide the human touch and the machine is taking care of the rest. And I think that over time, AI will be so sophisticated that you will not be able to distinguish between the human brain and the machine. And this is where the world is going. And this is the challenge of pacing up with technology.
Yeah. I mean, no doubt that the Israeli healthcare arena is, it's well known for its ever-growing startup companies seeking to apply the most recent and most relevant technologies into practical use. But I think also the question is, how do you create incentives for stakeholders to invest time and resources, to continue exploring nascent areas of health research?
So first of all, I think in Israel and in other countries, you have the states that is taking care of. So for instance, in Israel, we have the Israel Innovation Authority, which is non-dilutive venture capital that gives money to new initiatives that has a technological advantage, which gives them the first chance. Then in Israel, there is a culture that is very easy. And I'll give you an example. There is one, or the startups that we are working with, is a surgeon that needed a tool. She was working, and the tool she was working was not fit to her exact surgery. So she thought of a new dedicated tool for her. And from this moment where she had the idea, she recruited a CEO, she laid money, and the culture of Israel is supporting this effort. So if you have an idea in other places, I don't know how easy it is to get the right person to be the CEO, to raise money. And in Israel, it's very easy.
Yeah.
So I think that the culture is one thing. And I have to tell you something that informal, in Israel, there is an elite club of people who did it. Okay, entrepreneurs that sold companies, and I think it's something that every entrepreneur in Israel is looking up to, this elite club, and this is an incentive for. It's a drive for people to not only to sell a startup, but to be the one that was in this position.
So helping, monitoring, it's kind of the incentive that you feel that stakeholders will have, and that's what's going to make them invest time and resources in new startups.
Yeah, and I think the culture of it's okay to fail.
Yeah.
Okay, in Israel, and it's a blessing. It's okay to fail. If you're failing in your startup, you're not a failure. You're only a smarter guy.
Yeah.
One who fails, and in the next time he will succeed. So it's okay to fail. And as I said, the IAD, Israel Innovation Authority, allows you to fail because they don't asking for the money back. Venture capital, giving money with the chance of the company will fail. So it's something that you're living with, and it's okay. And I think it's to lift you from a lot of pressure.
So it's a lot of cultural issues, yeah.
I think there's another point, more personal point, that investors are people and they have family.
For sure.
And everyone has health issues. One of the amazing startups I know of is an investor that has an autistic child. And he asked a PhD he knows that learned neuroscience to find if there's a solution that he can try new drugs, but not on his kid. So they have a technology called brain on a chip, and they're trying a new solution through,
So he came through from a personal perspective.
There's a lot of incidents like that.
Yeah.
That, for example, when you see a building named after someone, the heart building, he had an heart attack, or someone in his family had an heart attack.
Yeah.
So the personal view is also something I wouldn't over.
So personal, cultural, the feeling of helping people, those, as you see it, are the main incentives that stakeholders in Israel have to invest in newly staged startups. That's right. So
the fact that you have a huge number of startups. So in a place, when you're going through 3, 4, 5 centers, you can see all the new technology.
Yeah. So I think that over the past year, the UAE has become one of the forefront leaders in driving healthcare solution. No doubt that COVID-19, the pandemic, has accelerated this transformation, and the shift towards participatory, connected, and technology-driven health system is irreversible. How do you envision the actual potential of the two countries for collaboration in the field? I mean, how can Israel and the UAE complement each other's competitive advantage?
So I think the fundamental concept of good partnership is, as you said, complementary.
Yeah.
Right? And you have to know what you're good at and what you're not, what you can't do. I think in Israel, white goods, say bluntly, from 0 to 60. Okay. You're good at taking the concept or research or ideation or idea and putting it into working prototype, working products relatively fast and cheap.
Yeah.
Okay. When it comes to scaling up, to do a global business development, to take a product from Israel and to put it on CDS shelf, or to reach from Israel to the Asian market, we need help.
Yeah.
And I think from what I've seen here, my third time in the UAE, overwhelming. I've seen that the UAE can serve as a gateway for Israeli technologies
I
to
agree.
the East. And our recommendation for Israeli startup is you should do, because we need to understand the basic mechanism of Israeli startup. In Israel, there is no market. So every startup is wired to go to the US or to Asia or the big market. And in the past years, Israel used to go, the holy grail was the US.
Yeah. The US, Europe. Yeah.
No, those territories. But the US, for instance, is far away from Israel. It's expensive. Time zone is different. And I think that the UAE is close. That time, it can be the first jump of Israeli startup. As I said, it's a gateway to the East. It's the first jump of Israeli startup to go international, to go global.
Yeah, I agree with that. And, in terms of population, I mean, the UAE and Israel, I mean, they're roughly on 10 million. It's the same size market in terms of size of population. But as you said, it's probably the most common gateway to the rest of I would say, the new world. To the east, we're seeing more and more companies wanting to come here, not just to be in the UAE market, but to open other options in other countries that they didn't do until now because they were more focused on the US and Europe. And suddenly this here is opening up their gate and the new market into a relatively new place that is seeking for such initiatives and for new technology. So there is a market here also, something that is much more difficult to create in the US and Europe.
And there's also the issue of common challenges. I can link to, for example, one is the non-English language. For example, Arabic and Hebrew is non-English. A lot of digital tools are designed for it. And NLP tools, it's very hard for text to understand and take it to structure. And clinical data, if we want to work on AI tool, on digital information to upscale and do things more automatically, you have to have structural database.
Yeah.
This is one thing. The other thing is the genetic influence of small population. For example, it's a non-example, the Ashkenaz Jews that have the problem of rare disease in high percentage there. And the solution that the Israeli health system found for that is a very unique one. It's called Dor Sharim, and people are screened in advance, and if they want to marry, they have to get a permission that it's okay or not okay for them to marry. No one knows what's the genetic background of a person, but they just have to get the okay mark for their marriage.
Yeah.
This is a very unique solution for.
Okay, so that's a very interesting point, and I can see how this specific genetic technology, I say, has its very unique aspects and unique needs, as we spoke before in Israel. So just for our closing question, let's dive a little bit into the future. How do you see technological advancements such as AI at the fast pace we are witnessing redefining healthcare as we know it?
We can talk in general about the contribution of AI to the world, but I want to be a little more precise. We had a conference on AI in medical a few weeks ago, and we had a lecture of a radiologist that talked about the decision support system that will allow the radiologist to see stuff that he didn't look for. For instance, if a patient goes, or the image of a patient is shown at the radiologist, and the radiologist is looking for something in the head, and they couldn't find anything in the head, but there is something in the neck. Sometimes the radiologist is focused on the head and doesn't look on the head, and the AI system can indicate that something is wrong in the neck. Have a look. Lower your eyes to the neck, have a look, because there is something wrong in the neck. So we're talking about support system, decision support system for doctors. I don't think that anytime at any point there will be a replacement for doctors. Like you don't have a completely automated plane. There's always need to have two pilots in the cockpit, because you always need to have the human touch.
I agree.
But at the end of the day, the systems are going to be so sophisticated. They're going to be like a human brain, and they can help you detect stuff that you cannot detect yourself, or they'll raise the flag whenever you need. And I think that this could be the greatest contribution of AI.
Yeah. So I think in light of what you just said, you could say that although no way does advanced technology seek to replace doctors, however, healthcare providers must adapt to and utilize the huge advantages of these technology And failing to do so would make them irrelevant and out of date. That's right.
Yeah, you cannot work on 18th century methods in the 21st century.
Yeah.
You have to adapt all the time. You have to be on the front line of technology because at the end of the day, it saves lives.
Yeah.
It saves money and time. And I think this is the holy grails of any HMOs in this world. And, any industry, any tech industry is on a constant improvement trend, and it should be. And
That's how we improve.
that's how we improve. That's how we live longer. That's how we live better. Now we need to take care of the rest. We need to take care that we'll have money at the age of 120.
Yeah.
We need to take care of all other options. But I think that the medical arena, like any other, should be in the front of technology.
In my view, using digital solution can even shorten the time to be professional. For example, the last version of ChatGPT is talking about understanding the small nuance of when you speak and talk and digital solution and can understand that and analyze it. So if as a young or in the first stages, physician use technology, they can get to a professional level very fast.
Yeah. I think something that they will grow into as their career progresses. That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And another thing I see in my vision, I come from genomic and bioinformatics field in research. And I know there's a huge amount of data in microbiome, genomic, transcriptomic, epigenetics. I think that future computational ability will enable us to analyze it better,
Mm-hmm.
and we will get to the promised land of personalized medicine.
Yeah. So before we wrap up today's episode, we want to take a moment to express our deepest gratitude to our wonderful guests and participants who have joined us on this insightful conversation. No doubt that your perspective and insights have truly enriched our discussion and shed light on the importance of fostering collaboration and understanding between Israel and the UAE. Remember, change and progress are best achieved through open communication, mutual respect, and a shared vision for a better future. So let's try and continue and build bridges, break down barriers, and work together towards a more peaceful and prosperous tomorrow.
Thank you, Geffen, and thanks the Consulate General of Israel in Dubai staff for hosting us. You are truly enabler for doing business, and your support is critical to us. Thank you.
And thank you for letting us share our vision in healthcare innovation. And it was a pleasure to join you both.
Okay, fantastic. So until next time, take care, stay curious, and keep the conversation going. Shalom, salam, and may the spirit of collaboration guide us towards a brighter future for all. Thank you for listening.